Hey everybody, Real with Wes. Welcome to Friday. Finishing off the weekend. Going into this weekend, by the way. Hope everybody's got some awesome plans. If you're working, man, just always I remind people, it's like, I'm having to work on the weekends. Everything you set your hands to is blessed. Man, look at it as I get to work. I get to do this, and look at what God may have involved in that. But tomorrow night, 6 p.m. service virtually right here. Facebook, YouTube page. Follow, subscribe, share. Starting a new series. I think you're really going to like it. I won't get into all that. You got to show up tomorrow night to see that. We got some exciting things planned to announce coming to you soon. Thanks for everybody's patience for our next in-person service. Hope to be probably announcing that for this month. So I'm really excited about that, and it'll be coming at you soon. We are still working on it, but just putting some things together, and excited to hopefully I will be able to announce that actually next week is what I'm looking at. So no promises yet, but just making sure. Should be able to announce that next week, and we're excited about doing something this month. We got some other stuff planned out and exciting, so just try to always make sure we don't overpromise, but make sure we can do. The world is always changing. There's always things going on. There's plenty of things in New York City going on, laws, mandates, everything else. So some of that, make sure it can all change like next week. But we're excited. We know we're pushing forward with God, and He's leading us in His wisdom through this season. But let's get into this. We're talking about His will. Now we go to James 4, verse 7. It says, submit to God, resist the devil, and he'll flee from you. Man, there's something powerful in that when you understand the essence of what it's talking about. Well, it's submitting to God. Let's start there. And submitting God, I think people think we got to submit to God on this big, grand, divine, life epic changing thing. And it's not always that. Sometimes submitting God is the day-to-day. You know what? I'm going to love the person and choose love that I'm having problems with. That I'm going to choose to see people the way God sees people. It's so many in the little things, actually. We can try to make it in the big things, but it's really the big things. Well, what does that mean? What's the opposite? Well, resisting the enemy. Well, what's the opposite of submitting to God? Pride and self-will. So what is submitting to God? Ultimately, it's a lifestyle, and it's a heartbeat, and it becomes a mindset. And it's this continuous thing of denying our self-centeredness and getting ourselves out of the center. Now, self-centeredness can be done because we go through hurt, we become afraid of things, fear will cause us to draw in, and then it starts overflowing all these emotions and lashing out, anger, all these, the secondary emotions. But ultimately what it is, it's all about us. And that's what the enemy wants to get us into, this place of me, me, me. And that me isn't always like, it's easy for even our everyday person that's trying to live for God to end up there. Because why? Fear brings us back to our self-centeredness instead of trusting God. And what we have to do is step away from that fear, step out of that, and humble ourselves and get honest. So what's the cure? And I talked about this yesterday, but I'm going to hit these things again. It's disconnect from self-centeredness. It can't be about you. And when you ask God's wisdom, you'll see how many times things are more about us over someone else. The next thing is humility. Man, you got to admit you need God to do all this. To submit to God, you got to admit you need Him. I need you to love people. I need you to do everything. I need you to go to job. I need you to stay married. I need you to be a good parent. I need God for everything in my life. Without Him, it's a mess. It's a mess is what it is. And then now allow God and permit God to change our hearts. Man, by allowing God to change our heart, that's what the Holy Spirit does. He writes on our heart. He writes love on our heart. And He causes us to see the world differently. And when we do that, it renews our mind and we experience change. But all is that saying, God, not my will, but your will be done. And I submit to that will. And I am willing to do what you asked me to do. And you don't have to understand it all. You don't have to know everything. There's an honesty in admitting I don't know. There's a beauty in that. Because it says, God, I need you once again. And being open-minded to allow God to start leading us. And that's what puts us in position to resist the enemy. Well, what's the resisting the enemy? Getting over in our self-centeredness. Living by fear is what that is. No, we live by faith and live by love is what we do. But it's just coming to the end of ourselves and realizing, God, I need you. That's what it is. And when you do that, what happens? The grace to do what God has asked you to do flows. That's what it is. And so either you have a choice today and every day. You can live your life in frustration by trying to self-will everything and live your life in emotional self-centeredness, which is destructive to yourself and those around you. Or you can finally submit to God and say, God, I need you. And he'll start showing you. He'll meet you right where you are, unconditionally, unreservedly. God is always there. God is always present. God is always helping and aiding. It's just opening ourselves to it, though, and saying and allowing him to work in our lives. So, man, allow God to work in your lives, and you'd be surprised at the amazing places he takes you, the amazing experiences you have, but mostly how things settle down on the inside here. And you really can see the riches and beauty of life that are all around you. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Thanks for tuning in all this week, and I'll be back here next Monday. Have a great weekend.